All right, so I found another high yield ETF that is Bitcoin related that I like. I have been buying quite a bit of it recently. This is XBTY. This is the Granite Shares Yield Boost Bitcoin ETF. First things first, if you get value out of the video, please like and subscribe. Check out the links below. So let's get right into it here. So this one is the Granite Shares Yield Boost Bitcoin ETF is designed to generate income from option strategies linked to 2x long Bitcoin daily ETF. To generate income, XBTY sells put options on leveraged ETFs linked to 2x long Bitcoin daily. So this one is different in several ways. The first way is that it's using leverage. And the second way is that rather than selling calls, which most of these ETFs, that's the way they make their money, or they're a synthetic covered call fund, which is also different, this one is selling put options, which I actually like because it's kind of the inverse of selling calls. Now, again, when you look at the math, the returns from selling calls versus selling puts, it's pretty much the same if you're selling with the same risk. But when you're looking at selling puts versus selling calls, there is a little bit of a difference there. So this one also pays weekly on Fridays, which again, obviously that's a nice bonus to get those weekly paychecks or weekly dividends, I mean. And if you look at their expense ratio, it's 107 basis points, which is expensive. YBTC is, I believe, 99 cents. MSTW is 99 cents, or 99 basis points, sorry. So it is a little bit more expensive, but I mean, it's not really that much different. And again, this is an actively managed fund, so you're not going to see these rock bottom management fees. If we look at, again, it is basically selling puts on BITX. And then if we look at let's get into its price returns here. So the first thing we notice here is, if we look at its dividend, the lowest dividend it's paid so far on a weekly basis is just under 45 cents. That was 2 weeks ago. If you take that, you times it by 52, and you divide it by the current share price, it's about 97%. Now again, this obviously will change if you see this video any day past the day I'm releasing it. It will change because, I mean, this again, it's a leveraged ETF, so it can move 10% in a day. I mean, it was up, I think, 7% on Friday. That's another important thing here. If you look at the price returns of the top, or not of the top ETFs, but these ETFs that I like, the leveraged ones are the ones that move the most. So if we look at the price returns on Friday, which obviously was a big up day for Bitcoin, MSTW actually was up the most. It was up just over 7%. XBTY about 6.5%. BTCI was a little under 4%. YBTC was about 3.5%. MSTY was up 6.5%, but then that's a leveraged one. MSTR was up 6%, and then MSTY, the American MSTY, was up just over 5%. So when you look at the price returns, MSTW and this one are the ones that did the best. So when you get these big price swings, these are the ones that are going to move the most. So again, you have to keep this in mind, that this is a leveraged ETF. You can go up or down very quickly, so keep that in mind. Same thing goes for MSTY, and frankly, anything linked to Bitcoin is going to be volatile, so keep that in mind. But like I said, based on its current share price, it's paying about 100% dividend yield, which is absolutely insane, and it's paying weekly. Now again, a little bit of that will come out in fees. As a Canadian, we're paying 10%, so in reality, you're getting a little bit less than that, but even if we're saying 85%, that's still very good. So let's compare it to the other ones that I like, just for sake of comparison here. So this one came out on May 13th of this year. So we don't have a ton of data, but a little bit over 4 months. I think that's enough data that you can draw at least some conclusions. So if we look at this ETF, it's up just over 14%, but I mean, if you look at its price returns, it's down a little over 8%. So the negative price returns certainly does scare me. I mean, that's something that is concerning, but it's not like MSTY, for example. Let's compare it to MSTY, the yield max MSTY. This one is down even, well, quite a bit more. If we look at MSTY here, so MSTY's price returns it's down 26%, and even when you account for dividends, it's down 10%. So this is why I said recently that I'm not completely going away from MSTY, don't get me wrong. I'm just scaling down to a very large degree the amount that I'm buying. Again, the price is down, but I mean, the price of MSTR is down as well. I'm not going to completely write off MSTY until we see a very large upswing in MSTR's share price and MSTY outperforms the other ones significantly. Like if that happens, yeah, I'm selling. But until then, I do think it's some temporary weakness. But again, if MSTR goes down further, this is going to get hit hard. So for me, it's kind of a hold and wait for the best at this point. Let's compare it to YBTC, just like I said, for sake of comparison here. So if we go YBTC from May 13th, May 12th, close enough. So YBTC has a positive 6% share price, and it's up 18%. So YBTC has beat it in both ways. So I am buying both. To be fully transparent, my strategy right now is the ones that I'm buying the most right now are YBTC, BTCI, MSTW, and XBTY. I'm buying them exactly the same. My share, my actual dollar amount that I own is pretty much exactly the same. And all I'm doing is that when I get paid those dividends, I'm simply putting it into the one that I have the least of. That's just what my plan is right now. Over time, as time goes on, we're going to see which, like, if one significantly performs another one over a 6 month or 1 year period, I'll dump it for the better one. But I still think we're early on in this process, and I think we have a lot more room for, well, at least a little bit more room for Bitcoin to run over the next 6 months to a year. So I want to see how these play out over that time. And then let's compare it to BTCI. I'm not going to compare it to MSTW because MSTW has only been around for about a month, so it's really not a fair comparison. But if we compare it to BTCI, let's go from May. So May 15th, close enough. BTCI is up 11%. It is positive 3.66 share price. So BTCI does have the fact that the share price is up, but it has underperformed when you include dividends. So what conclusions do I draw from this? Well, the conclusions I draw is YBTC has done the best. YBTC pays a much lower they pay a higher dividend than BTCI does, but it's much lower than MSTW and XBTY. Now again, YBTC doesn't have any leverage, so that's why we're seeing the better performance, I think. But I also think that's because Bitcoin is kind of chopped sideways. I want to see how these ETFs do when you see Bitcoin up, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 over a 1 month period or a 2 month period. I want to see how they perform because you need a good 6 months to a year of data to draw conclusions. I still don't think that 4 months of data is enough to draw conclusions, but, and not to mention too, like a 3% difference is like, they can move that much. They probably do move that much several times per week. So it's not a crazy amount. Like it's not a crazy amount. Like the thing that will concern me is if there's double digit, 10, 20, 30% differences over like a year or so. And MSTY is certainly possibly going to be in that boat. We'll see how it goes. But so that is my thoughts on XBTY. Long story short, like I said, I am buying it. There's 6 ETFs that I'm buying fairly aggressively right now. and four of them are XBTY, MSTW, YBTC, and BTCI. And I think they all have their strengths and weaknesses. A lot of people would say, oh, if you only had to pick one, or if you only had to pick two, I mean, that's just not a realistic situation. Like, it's not really a good idea to worry about stuff in life that it's not even a realistic situation. So that is what I'm doing, and I think that that's a really good strategy. And the reason for that is, if you look at these ETFs, if you're getting 100% return on them per year, like if the share prices are going down 10-20% a year, you're still getting a crazy good return. Now, again, obviously that's not realistic for, forever, but I do think that if your goal is income right now, I do think that these are good products. And the other thing too is that I think that they're going to get better over time. Like, I don't think they're going to get worse over time. They're probably going to get better, because there is so much potential. Like, if someone can develop an ETF that's going to pay a 20+% dividend yield per year, and you're going to get either neutral or even maybe slightly positive share price returns over time, who in the right mind is not going to buy that? Like, because traditional covered call ETFs, you're lucky to get more than like 10, 11, 12%, maybe if you're really lucky. So you can get double that and still not have negative share price returns. Like, that's going to be a phenomenally good product. So that's my thoughts on XBTY. Like I said, I really do like it, mainly for the dividend. I mean, if you look at the price, like I said, I think we're still too early to know, right? We're still too early. But I want to see what happens. Like, a real telltale sign is if we see a massive upswing in Bitcoin, which I do think we'll see by the end of the year. I think we hit 150, 200 before this cycle's over. And I want to see how these perform, because there's going to be a month or two period where we're up 20, 30, 40, 50%. And if we still don't get at least half decent share price returns out of these, that's when it's your cue to get out. And if I do that, I will mention it. But my goal right now, with at least as far as my dividend portfolio goes, is simply get to the point to where you can make $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, and just at least maintain that. Once I get to that $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, then the goal will be more reducing risk. I'll still be taking risk, but the goal then will be reducing risk. And I think the fastest way to get there is these ETFs. So, like I said, I really like XBTY because it's done well, right? It's done well, and it's paying a crazy good dividend. And not to mention, too, I still think we're going to see that massive run up in Bitcoin. Now, again, it might not be crazy. We might not go up 100% from here, 200% from here, anything crazy like that, but I still think we got 50% upside on Bitcoin over the next 6 months to a year, and I think the downside will be limited. So this one is kind of a wait and see at the moment. Like I said, my plan is to expand the holdings, right? To expand the more of these you hold, the more you reduce your risk, which again, over the long run, is just going to make things better. So like I said at the start of the video, please like, subscribe, comment, check out those links below, and stay tuned for more.